Hi everyone, welcome back to our Maine Homestead. It's been a minute, I know. We've been busy. I know everybody's busy, but we've been kind of chugging along. And Francesca and I have been talking even way back the beginning of summer. It's now December. But way back at the beginning of the summer, we were going to shoot a video and kept talking about it and talking about it and continue making videos. But it never happened, obviously. But as you know, life's busy, and not to make excuses, it's just, working a homestead full time is a job in itself and takes up a lot of time and energy. Let's not talk about energy. But then on top of that, trying to build a house, just, it's tough. You're almost trying to build a house in between doing everything else that needs to get done. That's kind of how it works sometimes. But we grow a lot of our own food. We don't have sheep anymore right now. So that's been, a lot off of our plate, but we've still just been chugging along. So we got a lot accomplished this summer. So I don't know if Francesca's going to want to show you that before I show you what I just thought about doing a video today. She's not here, so it's my video, right? But anyway, we've gotten a lot accomplished. So a video coming up soon, we promise, will be an update on the house. We put porches on the front and back, and we've kind of expanded a little bit on what our original plans were. They were always kind of in the back of our mind, but we didn't know when we would do these things, and we decided just while we're in building mode to go ahead and do them. It keeps you from getting other things done, building wise, of course, but we just decided it was best. Let's go ahead and do it, incorporate it into what we're doing now. So we'll show you all of that too. A couple of little changes. The beginnings of a bar / man cave, which will be a great hangout spot that's not kind of in the main house. It is, but it's not. And then our original plans for the front porch was to make half of it into a greenhouse that will be heated or supplementally heated with the wood stove from the house. Our house is very well insulated. Our wood stove heats this place so easily that we decided, and when we designed the house, and I'll show you this, but when we designed the house, we put a window on the last bay in the front, and with the idea that eventually we would close in that section of the porch and turn it into a greenhouse, and that way we can open that window in the wintertime when we're heating the house and maybe throw in another piece of wood, whatever. We'll see how it works. And that will be supplemental heat, or heat, keep the greenhouse very warm during the wintertime. In the summertime, we're not going to have to worry about it being warm. It's going to be all windows on the front. It faces south. So ideal, kind of place. And that's kind of how we designed everything around that. But anyway, those are things that we've started working on, so we will show you that. It won't be in this video, but we will show you that, and you may see that before you see this video. Like I said, I don't know. So it's December. It's been in the single digits at night and in the teen high during the day. Today the sun is trying to peek through the clouds, but it's still very cold outside. So I've kind of transitioned. I'll still finish as much outside work as I can between, when the weather's good enough, and it's good enough now. It's not that cold, but it's kind of cold if you want to stay out there. But our goal, it was kind of our goal for last winter, but we were exhausted, so we didn't get much done. But our goal for this winter is to finish the inside of the house and have that completely done, by spring, which is very doable. It's just a matter of doing it and getting it done. Winter is typically a time to relax and kind of recharge, as you know. And so, our growing season is relatively short here, but during that short period of time, you're busting it. You're doing everything you can to grow and put up food, and all the homesteading things that have to be done if you're doing the majority of that yourself. So wintertime is typically a time to recharge. But again, trying to run a homestead and build a house, good luck. So we are going to, our goal is to try to finish the inside of the house this winter. So that's subsequent videos, the majority of them is just giving you updates and kind of showing you things we've done. So since I mentioned that, the main reason I wanted to shoot this video is we've been talking about it and haven't gotten around to it. And so I've started building the first inside wall. We're not going to have a lot of walls inside the house, only really 2 walls downstairs and 2 walls and a couple of closets upstairs. So not many walls on the inside of the house. And you've seen how we built the house. So structurally, the posts and beams are the structural or weight-bearing part of the house. Everything else is just filler almost, within reason. So none of these walls we're building on the inside are weight-bearing. We're still going to build them, obviously, you know, 16 on center. They're stud walls. Francesca wants some sheetrock walls in the house to kind of break up and be able to paint and color, break up the all wood look that we have, even though our house wood wise is a lot of different colors. It's not all just one color and it stays that way. A lot of grays and a lot of darker browns with the lighter colored pine tongue and groove on the wall. So anyway, she wants to break that up. So that will be the covering for a lot of these walls that we're building. So with that, I'll go show you what I've been working on and hopefully be able to show you me standing the wall up by myself. You might not see all of it if I fail, so we'll see. But let me go show you what we've got. So this will be our bathroom one day. There's some supplies to build the shower, shavings, obviously, a couple potty buckets, and flooring for the first floor, which has been sitting here for about a year now, and it's become a great table. Obviously, we're really making the best of it, but we're going to get all of that done this winter. But our bathroom kind of starts where the flooring is stacked there and comes over and all the way to that post. There's 2 posts leaning up beside it, but the post in between those 2 is up against the wall where the power line is coming out of. So that's going to be our bathroom wall, and it's going to come obviously all the way over to here to that post. So that's kind of basically it. So what I started working on today was just building a stud wall that will go up against that 4x6 post with the power coming out. We'll drill a hole obviously before we slide it in there. So I'm going to build that wall all the way over to this corner that is even with the post there by the flooring, and then there'll be a small wall right there in front of the flooring, and then that's your doorway right here. So what I've started working on is building the stud wall that will go up against that post. So before I show you that, I'll just show you that because of the way that we built this house and wanted to build it, but didn't think about all the little nooks and crannies you're going to have to fill in. So that's an 8x8 post going here. Then it's 8 inches up in there. So when I build this stud wall, it goes to the bottom of that 8x8 beam, and then we'll have to come around the beam and then on top of it and up to the flooring that's the second floor, which is actually the ceiling for the first floor. So I'll have to build a little kind of stud wall to fit in that little nooks to give you a nailing surface for both sides. But this is actually going to be our shower. That different colored wall there will get covered up with hardy back or backer boards, concrete board, and so you won't see that, of course. And so this is going to be our shower. So that's going to all be concrete board that is to waterproof the shower walls. And then on the other side, I think Francesca wants to do, and that's on this side, which faces is actually will be the kitchen wall. She wants to do sheetrock there. So having said all that, let me show you what I've been working on. So today I measured, took good measurements. I built just your standard typical stud wall, but as always, this is not as rough as the lumber that we get from the Amish, which they do a great job, but it's rough cut lumber. This is kind of rough cut from a lumber mill that's down this side of Bangor, and it's not like planed or finished or anything. It's not like the lumber you're going to buy from Home Depot or Lowe's or that it's good quality lumber, but it's not finished, and it's not dimensional. It's not going to be a 2x4 is not 1.5 by 3.5. They're not all different, but there's a little variance in there, but they're a little bit bigger than what you would typically get from a big box store. Having said that, they're a lot cheaper than what you would get from a big box store. So the trade-off is definitely worth it. So this is just one section, because this wall is going to be about 11 feet, and all I could get from these people were 8-foot 2x4s. I'm going to have to build this section of the wall and then build another section and just attach it to this to end up in the right place. I'll build a 3-foot wall or whatever it turns out to be. So this is just the first section, but I just built a bottom piece, what I would call a footer. I built a header, and I'm saying it that way because that's the way I'm going to try to stand it up. And then I just cut the studs for in between, and I went ahead and got them all even. Of course, I marked out 16 on centers here and on both top and bottom, and then I placed the studs in, and I went ahead and nailed them, so that part's done. So now I'm going to see if I can stand it up and slide it into place by myself. If not, I'll have to slide it back over here, lay it down, and wait for my helper to get here. But let's see how it goes. So this is not where it will finally be positioned. There's my power coming from outside that's got to go through this, and then it'll go through each one down to where the switches are. So I'm just going to mark a spot on this. This surface is going to be flush with this. So I'm just going to mark a spot here that's the same distance from there. Go ahead and drill a hole. Then I'll feed the power through, and then this can be put in position, get flush. It'll go along the chalk line on the floor that I'm about to make, and then I can go ahead and attach it wherever it needs to be attached, floor and that post. So getting this over here wasn't actually that bad. It wasn't easy, but it was a lot easier than most things we do around here, so not too bad. So I measured up on this post, on this stud. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw a line over to where I measured over. I'm going to drill a hole right there. Feed this through, which this is actually temporarily hooked up to make the power on the other end of the house work, so I'll have to disconnect that. But I can go ahead and get this hole drilled for the power line, and then slide that through, and then this can slide into place, and then it can be connected, and we're good to go for now. So like I said, I just had this power line temporarily run across the floor through the bathroom because until this wall is built, finished, which I'm getting there, I don't have a light switch to connect the switch for the shower light and the bathroom main light, or the main bathroom light, which is for the shower, and the bathroom light over the sink. The switches are going to actually be at the other end of this wall. So I just had this line temporarily connected over to the line that goes outside and around the house and to the other end of the house because we wanted to use that power. So I went down in the basement, turned off that breaker, and then disconnected where I had the two spliced together. I just used the little things that you insert and clamp it down. I can't remember what they're called right now, but anyway, so it's very easy to do. I'm going to take this, feed it through the hole that I drilled, and come right back out that hole. Because I'm not close to being done with this wall yet, and I'm not going to go ahead and run it down until I build the second section of wall, which I'll show you. I don't have a place to do a switch. So it's just going to come through this 2x4 right back over to where it was so we can continue to use power down there. So if I can do this without knocking the stud wall down. There we go. So what I have to do now is just feed this line through all the way through so we can get this surface flush against that surface. There we go. So there's how I connected the electrical wires together. These are called lever nuts. I went and looked. But anyway, that's just a temporary connection. That's what it will look, something similar to that inside of the electrical box once everything's in place. But this is just kind of to splice these wires together so we can use power outside and at the other end of the house. The wall's in place. I have not, I can get my camera to focus. I have not attached it at the bottom yet. Probably will. It's firmly in there. I had to hit it with a hammer 20 or so times, but I will probably go up and create whatever needs to go up in that nook and around this, and bring I'll bring a top header, obviously, that follows the line of this header here, and then there'll just be studs that match these on the top. But I will have to make those, connect those studs before, obviously I put it in place because I won't be able to get to that top part of that header to attach the studs. So I'll have to figure all of that out before I go too much further. But anyway, this thing's hammered in place. It's not going anywhere. And yeah, I can connect it to that post there, and then it will be nailed to the floor along the chalk line that's there, and finish the top. And then this is because I only had 8-foot 2x4s. The wall actually, so there's the end of the stud wall I just put in place, and the actual wall ends up over here. So I'll have to build a little short, roughly 3-foot section of wall like this that has a stud here on the end so that I can attach the two together. And then that will finish the wall out, this part of the wall. Then of course I've got to fix the top part and then decide how and what I'm doing up above there to close the entire room in. But that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple to build a stud wall. It's a little bit more difficult by yourself, but not that difficult. And with this rougher cut lumber, that's like our house, building our house with completely rough cut lumber, which was green, fresh cut lumber from the Amish sawmill. Nothing totally matches up, but you just kind of learn to deal with it. If you're a perfectionist, don't try that at home. It will drive you crazy. So there you have it, a little quick video to kind of get my feet wet, get back in it, but kind of give you a little insight into what we're doing right now. That entire project, start to finish, which all of our wood is stored in the barn. We moved it all in there before it snowed first time, to try to do two things. Number one, it's green lumber, so to give it a chance to dry, so it's all spaced out and stacked, but with spacers in between each row. And but also just to keep it dry, keep it from soaking up any more moisture. As we built the structure of the house and placed these intermediate 4x6s, that's what that 2x4 stud wall is attached to. That is not a load-bearing post. It's an intermediate structure, or intermediate post, that we placed mainly to use as a nailer when we put the tongue and groove on the outside of our wall. We didn't want that to move. We wanted it to have plenty of good support. So we don't have traditional stud walls. The entire house, there's not a stud wall except for one, the one I just showed you. There will be more, but none of them are structural, as I said. Anyway, that's kind of just a quick project. The entire thing, that's what I started to say. That entire thing, from hauling the lumber up, taking my measurements, cutting, probably took me 2 hours to do. So you can see I could finish all, we don't have many walls. We could finish the walls as we get to it. In a couple of weeks we could have them all done, and potentially some of them sheetrocked, maybe all of them. Main reason I'm building that wall now first is because, as I showed you when I kind of showed you that little area, which it's hard to see because there's so much stuff there, we decided to not try to finish our house before we moved in. We might never get moved in. So we moved in and there's stuff everywhere, obviously, because our house isn't finished. It makes things a little more difficult, but we've been in the house a little over a year and we love it. So even though it's messy and you got to move stuff out of the way so you can get to stuff to build or put a structure in or whatever, the main reason I started with that wall is that's where the shower is going to go. So we don't have a shower or a bathtub at this point right now. So the goal is to finish that wall. Then there's a short wall that's going to have glass above it, which we'll end up showing you. And I'll show you this wall as I finish it and continue working on it. But that's going to be our shower area. So once we get this wall built and the short wall built and I get the backer board up around it, then I can go ahead and start mudding in the shower floor, put a shower pan in, and get it ready to tile so that we can then have a shower and we're going to use a portable bathtub for Emery. She loves to splash in the water. So that's my goal over the next few weeks, is to try to get that going and hopefully finished so that we can have a place here for her that's easy for her to take a bath, and it's a lot less messy and that kind of thing. So anyway, there you have it. Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you don't already. I promise there's more videos coming soon. But thanks again for watching, and we'll see you soon.